we're coming full circle on your question. I told you we'd get back to it. So it was a great question. The one answer is most people cannot see anything beyond what they expect. We don't see the world as it is, we see it as we are, right? And so honestly, God, maybe it wasn't until at the earliest 50, 60 years ago, the consensus reality or the consensus psychological groups started to really understand that trauma even fucking existed. Actually, about 100 years ago, coming out of World War I, just started to really even recognize that this was a thing. And then it was sometime after World War II, we started to realize what trauma actually was. Physical trauma.
The impact of trauma.
The impact of trauma, what it is. Then we started to realize, well, sexual too, right? It was only about 30 years ago that we really started to understand that there's something, and I am not at all putting down or disparaging physical or sexual trauma, because those can be horrific. But there's actually a worse kind of trauma. And great studies, the Adverse Childhood Experiences study, the ACE study, the definitive study on childhood trauma, decades long, thousands of participants, hundreds of clinicians, found that there was a worse kind of trauma. Do you know what it is?
Mental, emotional,
neglect.